Wooden rifles. That's what American troops trained with in 1941. Today, our warriors prepare for battle in facilities that look like they're straight out of a sci-fi movie. But what's the real cost of turning civilians into the world's finest fighting force? Picture this. It's 5 a.m. at Fort Benning, Georgia. The air is thick with anticipation as thousands of recruits begin another grueling day of training. But there's something remarkable about modern military preparation that nobody's talking about. A revolutionary advancement that's changing everything. We'll reveal this game changer later in our journey. The backbone of American military might wasn't built overnight. In the 1950s, when many of you watching first answered the call to serve, basic training lasted just 8 weeks. Today, it's evolved into a sophisticated 10-week program that forges the world's most capable warriors. When you think about your own service or that of your loved ones, what moments of their training journey stand out? Share your stories below. They're part of our nation's proud legacy. At Fort Benning alone, over 50,000 soldiers complete their initial training annually. In those first 3 crucial weeks, they master core warrior tasks, push their physical limits, and become experts with their weapons. But here's something fascinating that few civilians know about today's military training. There's a method that's dramatically improved survival rates in real combat situations. Stay with us to uncover this vital development. The numbers tell an extraordinary story of progress. Modern recruits undergo more than 800 hours of specialized instruction during basic training. That's 40% more than just 20 years ago. Our drill sergeants, averaging 15 years of combat experience, maintain the highest standards of excellence that made America's military the envy of the world. From tactical combat scenarios to battlefield medicine, every aspect of training has been refined through decades of experience. The daily routine starts at 5 a.m. with intense physical training, followed by specialized instruction that pushes these future warriors to their limits. The integration of cutting-edge technology hasn't just changed the game, it's created an entirely new playing field. Master Sergeant James Cooper, who's seen 3 decades of military evolution, puts it perfectly. What we're doing today would have seemed like science fiction when I started. These recruits are becoming the most prepared warriors in history. You might wonder about the psychological demands of modern military training. There's an extraordinary approach we've developed, one that's become the global standard. But that's a revelation we're saving for later. Before we dive deeper into the most challenging aspects of training, I want to hear from you. What was the most valuable lesson you learned during your service? Your experiences are part of the foundation that's built today's military excellence. Every drop of sweat and training saves blood on the battlefield. Stay with us as we reveal the most demanding challenges our service members face during their journey to become America's finest. Free-falling at 120 miles per hour from 12,500 feet. Your parachute is your lifeline, but for America's airborne warriors, this isn't just an adrenaline rush, it's another day at the office. At Fort Benning's prestigious airborne school, the journey to earn those silver wings starts with the 34-foot tower. But there's an astonishing development in jump training safety that's revolutionized how we prepare our troops. We'll reveal this breakthrough that's saving lives later in our segment. Let's talk numbers. Today's airborne training consists of 3 intense weeks: Ground Week, Tower Week, and Jump Week. Each year, over 16,000 service members complete this rigorous program. The success rate? An impressive 95%. Thanks to cutting-edge training protocols and state-of-the-art equipment, the safety record tells an incredible story of progress. In the 1950s, training-related incidents occurred in 1 out of every 250 jumps. Today, that number has plummeted to less than 1 in 100,000 jumps. This dramatic improvement didn't happen by chance. The T-11 parachute system, introduced in 2009, is a game-changer. With a 28% larger canopy than its predecessor and a slower descent rate of 16 feet per second, it's given our troops unprecedented control and safety. The reserve chute deploys in just 2.5 seconds, half the time of older systems. Modern airborne training integrates advanced simulation technology. Before touching an actual parachute, troops spend 40 hours in virtual reality scenarios. They practice emergency procedures and perfect their landing techniques in a controlled environment where mistakes become learning opportunities, not statistics. Speaking of safety protocols, there's something remarkable about how we prepare for worst-case scenarios, an innovative approach that's transformed airborne operations. But we'll save that revelation for later in our journey. The progression is methodical. Week 1 focuses on proper landing techniques using the lateral drift apparatus. Week 2 introduces the swing landing trainer and mock door training. By week 3, our warriors are ready for their first jump. The attention to safety details is incredible, says Chief Warrant Officer Sarah Martinez, a jump instructor with 500+ jumps. Every piece of equipment is checked 4 times before a jump. There's no room for error when you're dropping into combat zones. Today's jumpers wear advanced combat equipment that would seem like science fiction to previous generations. The Cypress system, an automatic activation device, monitors altitude and speed, deploying the reserve chute automatically if needed. It's just one example of how technology keeps our airborne forces safe. If you or someone you know has gone through jump training, we want to hear your story. Share your experience in the comments below. Your insights help preserve the proud legacy of America's airborne forces. But before we move on to our next segment about advanced combat training, there's something extraordinary about modern airborne operations that few people know about. Stay with us to discover how today's paratroopers are rewriting the rules of aerial insertion. Your heart pounds as tracer rounds illuminate the night sky. The sound of live ammunition isn't just noise, it's the symphony of America's most advanced combat training. At the National Training Center in Fort Irwin, California, live fire exercises push our troops beyond their limits. Imagine standing at the firing line for the first time, knowing your training will help protect our nation. What would be going through your mind? Drop your thoughts in the comments below. These aren't your standard shooting drills. Modern live fire training involves complex scenarios across 1,000 square miles of desert terrain. Units face simulated enemy forces while managing real artillery, tank fire, and close air support. The ammunition is live, the dangers are real, and the learning is invaluable. Here's what makes today's live fire training revolutionary. Each soldier wears advanced sensor systems that track every movement, every shot fired, and every decision made. This data helps instructors provide precise feedback, improving survival chances in real combat situations. Welcome to the Military Operations in Urban Terrain, MOUT facilities. These aren't just mock cities, they're 200-acre combat laboratories with over 1,000 buildings, underground tunnel systems, and civilian role players creating realistic scenarios. Each building is equipped with state-of-the-art camera systems and sensors. Every room presents a new challenge, from hostage situations to complex bomb disposal scenarios. The walls may be concrete, but they hold countless lessons written in sweat and determination. A typical urban combat training session lasts 72 hours straight. Troops navigate through buildings rigged with special effects that simulate real combat conditions, explosive devices, smoke, and the chaos of urban warfare. They face an opposing force using non-lethal training ammunition that still leaves a mark, both physically and mentally. When the sun sets, America's warriors are just getting started. Night operations training has seen remarkable advancements. Today's troops train with third-generation night vision devices that provide unprecedented clarity in total darkness. The Advanced Night Operations course spans 3 intensive weeks. Soldiers learn to navigate using terrain association, conduct reconnaissance missions, and execute complex tactical maneuvers, all under the cover of darkness. But it's not just about the equipment. It's about developing instincts that turn the darkness from an enemy into an ally. Special Force units now train in facilities equipped with Fight Light technology, systems that can simulate any lighting condition from bright desert sun to cloudy moonless nights. This allows troops to master the transition between light and dark conditions, a critical skill in modern combat. Here's what makes this training unique. Instructors can create any scenario imaginable. From power outages in urban environments to stealth infiltrations of enemy compounds, our troops learn to own the night. Each year, over 10,000 service members complete this advanced night training, maintaining America's edge in nocturnal operations. These three elements, live fire exercises, urban combat, and night operations, aren't trained in isolation. Modern warriors must master them simultaneously. Picture conducting a live fire exercise in an urban environment at night. This is the level of complexity that sets American military training apart. The results speak for themselves. In recent training cycles, units have shown a 40% improvement in target acquisition speed and a 60% increase in first-round hit probability during night operations. That's not just data, that's American excellence in action. Remember, folks, this incredible training system wasn't built overnight. It's the result of decades of experience, countless innovations, and the unwavering commitment to preparing America's finest for any challenge they might face. What aspects of advanced combat training interest you the most? Share your thoughts below. Your engagement helps us keep the legacy of military excellence alive. The ocean roars at 4 a.m. as Navy SEALs plunge into frigid waters. Miles above, Air Force specialists train in chambers that simulate the thin air of Mount Everest. Meanwhile, combat medics practice life-saving procedures under fire. These are the specialized training elements that push our military beyond ordinary limits. The Combat Water Survival School at Fort Bragg isn't just about staying afloat. Today's water survival training incorporates advanced rescue techniques developed through decades of operational experience. Troops face 50-meter underwater swims wearing full combat gear. That's 150 pounds of equipment they must manage while maintaining composure. At the Advanced Combat Diver School, Special Operations Forces master cutting-edge rebreather technology that leaves no telltale bubbles. They train in zero-visibility conditions, using advanced underwater navigation systems that would make science fiction writers jealous. The completion rate? Only 65%, proving just how demanding these courses have become. Modern water survival facilities can simulate any ocean condition. Storm surges, rip currents, Arctic temperatures, our troops train for it all. The latest underwater egress trainers can replicate helicopter and vehicle crashes in any water condition, preparing our forces for worst-case scenarios. At the high-altitude training facility in Colorado Springs, military personnel push their limits in chambers that simulate altitudes up to 30,000 feet. These aren't just simple pressure rooms. They're sophisticated training environments that prepare our forces for operations from the Hindu Kush to the Andes. The High Altitude Airdrop Mission Support Program trains loadmasters and pilots to deliver critical supplies with precision accuracy in thin mountain air. Using advanced wind modeling technology and GPS-guided parachute systems, they achieve drop accuracies within 10 meters, even at altitudes where the air is too thin to think straight. Modern altitude training incorporates biometric monitoring systems that track how each service member adapts to extreme elevations. This data helps develop personalized acclimation protocols, reducing the risk of altitude-related illnesses while maximizing performance. Today's combat medics train in facilities that make Hollywood emergency rooms look outdated. The Medical Simulation Training Center at Fort Sam Houston features responsive mannequins that breathe, bleed, and react to treatment. These aren't simple dummies. They're sophisticated robots that simulate everything from sucking chest wounds to traumatic amputations. The statistics tell an incredible story. Since implementing these advanced training protocols, battlefield survival rates have increased by 86% compared to Vietnam-era numbers. A soldier wounded in combat today has the highest survival rate in military history, thanks to these revolutionary training methods. Combat medics now train with portable ultrasound devices, advanced hemostatic agents, and cutting-edge tourniquets. They practice casualty care while wearing night vision goggles in sandstorms or during active firefights. Every scenario is designed to replicate the chaos and pressure of real combat medicine. These specialized training elements represent the pinnacle of military excellence. They're constantly evolving, incorporating lessons learned from real-world operations and advancing technology. Our military community has always stood together, adapting and overcoming every challenge. Veterans watching this, we'd love to hear your perspective. How have these training elements evolved since your service? Share your thoughts below. Your experiences help bridge the gap between generations of warriors and inspire the next generation of military excellence. The combination of water survival mastery, high-altitude expertise, and advanced medical training creates warriors who can operate in any environment, at any altitude, while maintaining the ability to save lives under the most extreme conditions. This is what makes America's military the most capable fighting force in history. A soldier stands in an empty room, wearing what looks like gaming goggles. But this is no game. It's the cutting edge of military training technology that's revolutionizing how we prepare America's warriors for the challenges of tomorrow. The Synthetic Training Environment, STE, represents a quantum leap in military preparation. This system creates an exact digital twin of any battlefield on Earth, accurate down to individual buildings and terrain features. Soldiers can now train in virtual replicas of actual combat zones before they ever set foot in theater. The Integration Operations Training Platform at Fort Hood demonstrates how far we've come. Using artificial intelligence and machine learning, it creates adaptive scenarios that respond to each soldier's decisions in real time. The system tracks everything from muzzle awareness to tactical positioning, providing instant feedback that accelerates the learning curve. Modern training incorporates augmented reality overlays that display crucial battlefield information directly in a soldier's field of view. Imagine seeing threat indicators, friendly force locations, and mission objectives without taking your eyes off the target. This technology has reduced decision-making time by 60% in combat scenarios. Today's virtual reality, VR training goes far beyond basic simulations. The reconfigurable virtual collective trainer allows entire units to train together in immersive environments. Tank crews, infantry squads, and aviation units can now coordinate complex operations without burning a drop of fuel or firing a single round. The statistics are remarkable. Units using VR training show a 35% improvement in mission success rates compared to traditional methods. Even more impressive, retention of critical skills has increased by 75% when VR is incorporated into regular training routines. Medical personnel now practice combat casualty care in virtual environments that replicate the stress and chaos of battlefield conditions. The system even simulates the effects of combat stress on fine motor skills, preparing medics for the psychological challenges they'll face in real situations. Consider the story of the 82nd Airborne Division's recent training evolution. Using these advanced systems, they completed complex mission rehearsals for an entire brigade in just 48 hours, a process that traditionally took weeks. The result? A 40% increase in first-time mission success rates. At Fort Bragg, Special Forces teams use AI-powered opposition forces in training scenarios. These virtual adversaries learn and adapt to tactics, ensuring our operators never face the same challenge twice. This has led to a measurable improvement in decision-making speed and tactical flexibility. Looking to the future, the military is developing even more advanced training systems. Neural interface technology promises to create training scenarios controlled directly by thought. Quantum computing will enable simulations of unprecedented complexity, modeling every aspect of modern warfare with perfect accuracy. But perhaps most exciting is the development of personalized training algorithms. These systems will adapt to each soldier's learning style, strengths, and weaknesses, creating customized programs that maximize individual potential while maintaining unit cohesion. Your experiences and insights have helped shape these training programs. The lessons learned by previous generations of warriors have been encoded into these advanced systems, ensuring that hard-earned wisdom is never lost. We'd love to hear your perspective on how these changes have improved military readiness. How do you think these innovations compare to the training you received? Share your thoughts in the comments below. As we close this exploration of military training, remember this: while technology continues to advance, it's the unwavering spirit of American service members that truly makes our military the finest in the world. The tools may change, but the commitment to excellence remains constant. If this inside look at military excellence inspired you, hit like and subscribe. Ring that notification bell to stay updated on America's finest. We'll see you in the next mission. Thank you for joining us on this journey through the evolution of military training. Your support and engagement help us continue telling these important stories about America's military excellence.